The morning sun slipped through my bedroom window, and I opened my eyes with a smile I could not control. Today was the day I had dreamed about for months. Every late night, every extra project, every sacrifice had led to this moment. I stood in front of the mirror, adjusted my black tuxedo, and laughed at my own nervous face. My phone buzzed. "Ready to become a married man?" Grace asked. "I've never been more ready." Grace smiled. "Mom will be proud today." "I know. I wish Mom could see this." "Mom probably can." I nodded without speaking. My chest felt full of hope instead of sadness. The ceremony took place beside a beautiful lake in Seattle. White flowers surrounded every chair. Soft music floated through the air, and every familiar face made my heart feel lighter. Daniel Foster stood beside the altar. "Ethan," Daniel said, "today starts a new chapter. I've waited a long time for this chapter." Daniel smiled. "Then enjoy every second." The music changed. Every guest stood. Olivia Brooks appeared at the end of the aisle wearing a breathtaking white dress. My heart raced the moment my eyes met Olivia's smile. "You look beautiful," I whispered after Olivia reached me. "You don't look bad either," Olivia replied with a laugh. The ceremony felt perfect. "I do." Those two words came from my heart without hesitation. Olivia looked into my eyes. "I do." Applause filled the air. Friends cheered. Family members hugged both of us. For the first time in my life, I truly believed happiness could last forever. The reception began inside a large ballroom decorated with crystal lights and white roses. Music echoed across the room while guests laughed, danced, and celebrated. Grace raised a glass. "Everyone, thank you for coming. Ethan deserves every bit of happiness today." Cheers followed. I smiled. Olivia squeezed my hand. "I'm glad today is finally here." "So am I." Photographers moved around the room, taking pictures. Guests lined up to congratulate us. Everything felt exactly as I had imagined. Then the ballroom doors opened. A tall man stepped inside wearing a dark blue suit. I frowned. "Mason Reed." The room suddenly grew quieter. Olivia's smile disappeared. "You invited Mason?" I asked softly. "No." "Then why is Mason here?" I don't know." Mason walked closer with complete confidence. "Congratulations," Mason said. "What are you doing here?" I asked. "I wanted to see an old friend." Olivia looked nervous. "Mason, this isn't the time. I only wanted 5 minutes." "No," Olivia answered. Guests stopped dancing. The music continued, but nobody paid attention anymore. Grace walked beside me. "Ethan, something feels wrong." "I know." Mason looked directly at Olivia. I couldn't stay away. Olivia closed both eyes for a second. "Mason, please leave." I still love Olivia. Every conversation ended instantly. My heart pounded. What did Mason just say? I asked. Nobody answered. Before I understood what was happening, Olivia walked toward Mason. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. I waited for Olivia to tell Mason to leave. Instead, Olivia reached Mason, placed both hands on Mason's face, and kissed Mason. The entire ballroom froze. Glasses stopped moving. Music kept playing, but the room felt completely silent. My breathing became shallow. My legs refused to move. Every dream I had built over the last 3 years shattered in front of hundreds of people. Someone whispered my name. Someone gasped. A glass slipped from someone's hand and shattered across the floor. Nobody looked away. I looked at Olivia. I looked at Mason. Neither apology nor explanation came. Only silence. I slowly removed my wedding ring. My hand shook. Without saying a single word, I turned around and walked toward the exit. Behind me, voices exploded. "Ethan, wait. Ethan, please." I kept walking. Fresh air hit my face the moment I stepped outside. I leaned against a stone wall and struggled to breathe. My chest hurt. My eyes burned. Everything inside me screamed, but no sound escaped. The ballroom doors opened behind me. Soft footsteps approached. "Ethan." I turned. Chloe Bennett stood a few feet away. "I wasn't sure whether I should come," Chloe said quietly. "You don't have to say anything." "I know. I don't even know what just happened. I don't think anyone understands." I laughed once, but the sound broke halfway. "I spent months planning today." "I know. I trusted Olivia with everything." "I know." I feel stupid. No. I ignored every warning. Trust doesn't make anyone stupid. I looked at the dark sky. What do I do now? I can't answer that. What if my entire future disappeared in 1 minute? Then tomorrow starts with one honest step. I don't know whether I have enough strength. I think strength brought you outside instead of starting a fight. I wanted answers. You deserve answers. The ballroom doors open again. Daniel Foster walked toward us with slow, careful steps. Daniel stopped in front of me. Silence settled between us. Finally, Daniel looked directly into my eyes. Ethan, I waited. Daniel took a deep breath. Ethan, are you willing to end this wedding before it destroys the rest of your life? Daniel's question stayed in my mind. Ethan, are you willing to end this wedding before it destroys the rest of your life? I stared at Daniel without answering. My throat felt dry. My heart still refused to accept what my eyes had witnessed only minutes earlier. I don't know, I whispered. Daniel nodded. Take a moment. Don't answer because of anger. Answer because of self-respect. Before I could respond, the ballroom doors opened. Asterisk, asterisk, Ethan. Asterisk, asterisk. Olivia's voice echoed across the courtyard. I slowly turned around. Mascara streaked across Olivia's face. Tears covered Olivia's cheeks. Ethan, please listen. I've already seen enough. The kiss meant nothing. I laughed bitterly. Nothing. Please believe me. I watched my bride kiss another man during our wedding reception. It was a mistake. A mistake lasts 1 second. That kiss was a choice. Olivia reached for my hand. I stepped back. Don't. Ethan, please. I trusted Olivia with my future. I'm sorry. Mason surprised me. Mason didn't force the kiss. Olivia lowered both eyes. I wasn't thinking. Exactly. Another voice interrupted. Still blaming emotions? Grace walked toward us with folded arms. Grace looked directly at Olivia. Enough excuses. Grace, please. No. Grace pointed toward the ballroom. Every guest watched that humiliation. I know. No. Olivia doesn't know. Olivia stayed silent. Grace continued. Ethan loved Olivia completely. I know. Ethan defended every decision. I know. Ethan worked weekends to pay for this wedding. I know. So why reward loyalty with betrayal? Olivia couldn't answer. Footsteps approached again. Mason walked outside with both hands inside jacket pockets. A confident smile still rested on Mason's face. Ethan, don't make this bigger than it is. I looked straight at Mason. Bigger. It was only a kiss. Only. Mason shrugged. Olivia still married Ethan. No. Confusion crossed Mason's face. What? No marriage begins after betrayal. Olivia grabbed Mason's arm. Mason, stop talking. I'm only telling the truth. No. Grace shook Grace's head. I've never seen anyone show so little shame. Mason smiled. Opinions don't matter. My dignity matters. Mason looked at me. So what now? I haven't decided yet. Inside the ballroom, raised voices grew louder. Guests whispered. Family members argued. Someone shouted Olivia's name. Someone else defended me. The celebration had become complete chaos. I closed my eyes. Everything I had imagined for this day had disappeared forever. A gentle voice reached me. Ethan. I opened my eyes. Chloe stood beside me. I brought some water. Thank you. I accepted the bottle. Neither of us spoke for several seconds. Finally, Chloe sighed. I should tell Ethan something. What? I noticed strange things during the last few weeks. My stomach tightened. What kind of things? Late-night phone calls. I listened carefully. Secret messages. My breathing slowed. Olivia always looked nervous whenever Mason's name came up. Why didn't Chloe tell me? I wasn't sure. Still, I hoped I was wrong. I wish Chloe had been wrong. So do I. I looked toward the ballroom entrance. I feel like everybody is staring at me. Everybody feels sorry for Ethan. I don't want pity. I know. I wanted a wife. You deserved honesty. Those words hurt because those words were true. Daniel joined us again. Ethan, I'm listening. Marriage should begin with trust. I know. Marriage should never begin with humiliation. I know. Daniel placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. No ceremony can fix broken trust. I looked toward Olivia. Olivia stood alone now. Even Mason had stepped away. For the first time all day, I realized something important. I wasn't afraid of losing Olivia. I was afraid of accepting less than I deserved. That realization changed everything. I took one deep breath. I'm done. Daniel nodded slowly. Are you certain? Yes. Think carefully. I already have. Daniel gave a respectful nod. Then speak with confidence. I walked back inside the ballroom. Conversation stopped immediately. Hundreds of eyes followed every step. The music ended. Even photographers lowered cameras. I stood in the center of the dance floor. Olivia hurried toward me. Ethan, please don't do this. I raised one hand. Everybody deserves the truth. Complete silence filled the room. My wedding ends today. Gasps spread across the ballroom. I refused to build a marriage on betrayal. Olivia cried harder. Ethan, please. I forgive Olivia someday. Hope appeared across Olivia's face. But forgiveness doesn't mean marriage. Hope disappeared instantly. I cancel this wedding. Nobody spoke. Mason looked stunned. Grace smiled proudly. Daniel quietly closed the marriage documents. I removed my wedding ring and placed the ring on the nearest table. This marriage ends before the first day even begins. Olivia covered Olivia's face. I'm sorry. I believe Olivia regrets getting caught. That's not true. I can't believe anything anymore. I slowly turned toward Chloe. Chloe looked completely confused. Our eyes met. My heart felt strangely calm. I took several careful steps. Chloe, what? I know this sounds impossible. It probably does. I don't want revenge. I understand. I don't want another lie. I understand. I only want one honest chance at happiness. Chloe stared at me without moving. I swallowed hard. Chloe, the entire ballroom held a collective breath. Would Chloe help Ethan turn the worst day of life into the beginning of something honest? Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Everyone froze. The ballroom stayed completely silent after my question. Every pair of eyes moved from me to Chloe. Chloe looked shocked. Ethan, I don't know what to say. You don't have to answer immediately. This can't be real. I understand. I can't marry anybody because of one terrible moment. I'm not asking because of one terrible moment. Chloe stared into my eyes. Then why? Because I refuse to let betrayal become the final chapter of my life. I don't want anybody thinking this is revenge. It isn't. It looks like revenge. I know. I don't want pity. I know. I don't want pressure. I know. I only want honesty. Chloe remained silent. Daniel slowly stepped closer. Chloe, yes. I need one honest answer. I'm listening. Does any part of this decision come from pressure? No. Does any part come from fear? No. Does any part come from guilt? No. Daniel nodded. Then what does this decision come from? Chloe looked at me again. Respect. Nobody spoke. Chloe continued. I've known Ethan for years. I quietly listened. I've watched Ethan help friend without asking for anything. I never expected kindness to matter today. It matters. I've watched Ethan treat Olivia with patience. My chest tightened. I've watched Ethan protect every promise. I lower my eyes. I also know Ethan deserves better than public humiliation. Daniel folded both hands. Would Chloe like more time? Yes. I'll wait. I don't want Ethan waiting alone. I've already spent enough time alone. A small smile appeared on Chloe's face for the first time all day. Grace walked beside me. Ethan, yes. Whatever happens next, don't force anything. I won't. Good. Hours passed. Most guests quietly remained inside the ballroom. Some family members left. Some waited. Nobody celebrated anymore. The flowers still decorated every table, but happiness had disappeared. I sat near a window. Chloe finally walked over. I've been thinking. So have I. I still don't think this is a normal situation. It isn't. I don't love Ethan. I know. I won't pretend. I don't expect pretending. I respect Ethan. That's enough for today. I believe respect can become trust. I believe that too. I can't promise forever. I'm not asking for forever. What are Ethan asking for? One honest beginning. Chloe looked toward Daniel. I've made my decision. Daniel approached quietly. Tell me. My answer is yes. The room filled with surprised whispers. Olivia gasped. Mason frowned. I almost couldn't believe my ears. Are Chloe sure? Yes. No pressure, no pressure, no revenge, no revenge. Only respect, only respect. Daniel smiled gently. Then this decision belongs to both of you. The ballroom changed within minutes. Most decorations remained exactly where they had been. Only the atmosphere felt different. The loud music stopped. Fresh flowers stayed beside the altar. Family members gathered once again. Nobody cheered. Nobody celebrated wildly. Everyone simply watched. Daniel opened another set of marriage papers. Ethan, I'm ready. Chloe, I'm ready. Daniel looked at both of us. Marriage isn't built on perfect days. I listened carefully. Marriage survives because two honest people choose honesty every single day. I understand. So do I, Chloe answered. Daniel smiled. Then let's begin. I looked at Chloe. I don't know what tomorrow brings. Neither do I. I only promise respect. I promise the same. I promise honesty. I promise honesty too. Daniel nodded. Those promises matter more than beautiful speeches. A few quiet tears rolled down Grace's face. Grace smiled proudly. I've never been prouder. Those words gave me strength. Daniel continued. Do Ethan willingly choose Chloe? I do. Do Chloe willingly choose Ethan? I do. Daniel smiled warmly. Then I proudly pronounce this marriage official. Soft applause slowly filled the ballroom. Nobody shouted. Nobody danced. The moment felt peaceful instead of exciting. For the first time since morning, my heart finally became calm. I looked at Chloe. Thank you. I hope this decision brings peace. It already has. Across the room, Olivia suddenly screamed. No! Every conversation stopped. Olivia hurried toward me. Ethan, please don't do this. It's already done. I made one mistake. One choice changed everything. I still love Ethan. I don't believe that anymore. Tears don't change the truth. Olivia reached toward my arm. I stepped away. Our future ended the moment Olivia kissed Mason. Olivia cried harder. I'll fix everything. Some things can't be repaired. Mason rolled both eyes. This drama is exhausting. Olivia turned immediately. Mason, say something. What? Tell Ethan the kiss meant nothing. Mason laughed. I don't know anybody explanations. Olivia looked confused. What? The wedding is over. I need Mason. No. Fear slowly appeared across Olivia's face. What does that mean? I came because I wanted excitement. Olivia stared silently. I never promised forever. You said Mason loved Olivia. I said many things. Mason, I'm leaving. Without another word, Mason walked toward the exit. Olivia called Mason's name again and again. No answer came. I watched everything quietly. For the first time all day, I realized my pain no longer controlled my decisions. Olivia stood alone in the middle of the ballroom. Nobody moved toward Olivia. Nobody offered comfort. Even close friends quietly looked away. That silence said more than words. Late that night, after Chloe and I returned home, my phone vibrated. A message appeared from Olivia. Another message followed immediately. A screenshot. The final text from Mason contained only one sentence. Mason never planned to stay. Several months passed, but every morning reminded me that one terrible day had changed my entire life. The difference was simple now. I no longer woke up feeling broken. I woke up beside Chloe. Good morning, I said. Good morning, Chloe replied with a warm smile. Coffee. Only if breakfast comes too. I can manage both. I'll believe that after breakfast. I laughed. Already doubting my cooking, I remember the first pancake. That pancake wasn't my best work. That pancake almost became a smoke alarm commercial. I laughed again. Fair. Those ordinary conversations slowly replaced painful memories. My marriage with Chloe had never started like a fairy tale. Instead, my marriage grew through honesty, patience, and countless small moments. One evening, I placed dinner on the table. I have something to ask. I'm listening, Chloe said. Are Chloe happy? Chloe looked surprised. Why ask that now? Because everything happened so fast. I know. I never wanted guilt to become the reason for marriage. It never did. What became the reason? Respect first. I smiled. And now trust grows every day. Those words stayed with me long after dinner ended. Weeks later, Grace visited our house. "I like this place," Grace said. "I'm finally starting to like my own life again." Grace smiled. "I noticed. I never thought happiness could return. Happiness usually returns quietly. I spent months waiting for Olivia to regret everything. And now, I don't think about that every day anymore." Grace nodded. "Good. I wanted karma. Karma doesn't need help." "What does that mean?" "Real revenge isn't watching somebody else suffer." "What is real revenge?" "Living peacefully." I stayed silent. Grace continued. "Anger gives control to the person who caused pain." I never looked at life that way. Take control back. I think I'm finally doing that. Meanwhile, life kept moving. My architecture business slowly expanded. New clients trusted my work. Chloe continued teaching elementary school. Every evening, Chloe shared funny classroom stories. One student asked whether teachers sleep at school. What did Chloe answer? I said teachers recharge like robots. I laughed so hard that coffee almost spilled across the table. I wish I could have seen that. So did the principal. Simple moments became my favorite moments. One afternoon, Daniel invited me to lunch. "You look different," Daniel said. "In a good way?" "In the best way. I still remember everything." Memory isn't the enemy. What is? Living inside yesterday. I don't live there anymore. I'm proud of that. Daniel smiled before changing the subject. "Have you heard anything about Olivia?" "Not much. I think that's healthy." "I agree." Daniel hesitated. "There are rumors." "I don't need details." "Maybe not." Still, details reached me without asking. One evening, Grace called. "I thought you should know." "What happened?" "Several wedding videos became popular online." I closed my eyes. I guess that might happen. People recognized Olivia. What happened next? Important clients canceled contracts. I remained silent. Grace continued carefully. Some business partners walked away. I don't feel happy hearing that. I know, but I don't feel guilty either. You shouldn't. Days later, another message arrived from an old mutual friend. Nobody talks to Olivia anymore. I placed the phone on my desk. Chloe noticed my expression. Bad news. I don't know. What happened? Friends stopped supporting Olivia. Chloe sighed softly. Consequences sometimes arrive slowly. I never wanted anybody destroyed. I know. I only wanted honesty. You finally found honesty. I think I did. Another month passed. One Saturday afternoon, Chloe surprised me. Close the laptop. I still have work. Not today. What are we doing? We're going hiking. I'm terrible at hiking. I'll walk slowly. The mountain trail overlooked Seattle. Fresh air filled my lungs. The city looked peaceful beneath the afternoon sun. Chloe smiled. What are Ethan thinking about? I'm thinking this view would have been impossible for me a few months ago. Why? I couldn't see anything except betrayal. And now, I finally see tomorrow. Chloe reached for my hand. I smiled without thinking. For the first time since my wedding day, laughter came naturally. No pretending. No forcing. Only peace. That moment felt like victory. Not because somebody else had lost. Because I had finally stopped losing myself. Monday morning arrived. I returned to my office, carrying fresh blueprints. My assistant knocked on the door. Ethan, come in. A visitor asked to see Ethan. I don't have any appointments. I know. Who is waiting? My assistant hesitated. I think Ethan should see personally. Curiosity replaced concentration. I walked toward the reception area. The moment I turned the corner, my footsteps stopped. Olivia stood beside the front desk. Dark circles surrounded tired eyes. Confidence had disappeared completely. Both hands held a small wooden box against a trembling chest. Olivia slowly looked at me. I need 5 minutes. My heartbeat quickened. I couldn't stop staring at the small box. Somehow, I already knew that box carried pieces of the past I had spent months trying to leave behind. I looked at the small wooden box in Olivia's hands, then looked back into Olivia's tired eyes. Nothing about the confident woman from my wedding day remained. I only need 5 minutes, Olivia said quietly. I don't know if 5 minutes can change anything. I know. I opened my office door. Come in. Olivia stepped inside without looking around. The silence felt heavier than any argument we had ever shared. I pointed toward a chair. Sit down. Thank you. Neither of us spoke for several seconds. Finally, Olivia placed the wooden box on my desk. I brought everything back. My hand slowly opened the box. The first item was our engagement photograph. The second was every handwritten letter I had given Olivia during our relationship. The last item was my original wedding ring. A painful memory rushed through my mind. I thought these were gone. I couldn't throw them away. Why bring everything now? Because none of these memories belong to Olivia anymore. I gently picked up the ring. I remember buying this. I remember crying when Ethan proposed. I believe those tears were real. They were. I looked into Olivia's eyes. Then what happened? Olivia lowered Olivia's head. My own selfishness happened. I remained silent. I kept wanting attention. I listened. I kept wondering whether Mason still loved Olivia. I still said nothing. I wanted proof that somebody would always chase Olivia. My chest tightened. So Olivia kissed Mason to test that. Yes. I closed the box. One selfish decision destroyed everything. I know. No. I shook my head. Olivia doesn't know. I do. No. I lost somebody who loved me honestly. Silence returned. After several moments, Olivia spoke again. Mason didn't ruin my life. I looked up. My own choices ruined everything. Those words surprised me. I expected Olivia to blame Mason. I blamed Mason for weeks. What changed? The truth. What truth? Mason never forced anything. I know. Mason only revealed the person Olivia had become. I slowly leaned back in my chair. For the first time, I heard complete honesty instead of excuses. A gentle knock interrupted us. My assistant opened the door. Daniel Foster is here. Please send Daniel inside. Daniel entered the office, smiled politely, then noticed Olivia. I didn't expect this meeting. Neither did I. I answered. Daniel quietly sat beside me. I hope I'm not interrupting. No. Olivia looked toward Daniel. I finally admitted everything. Daniel nodded. That takes courage. It took losing everything. Nobody spoke for a moment. Daniel finally broke the silence. Honesty usually arrives after consequences. I wish honesty had arrived sooner. So do I. I looked toward the window. Every memory from the wedding returned. The music, the flowers, the kiss, the broken promises. Everything still hurt. Olivia quietly asked, "Does Ethan hate Olivia?" I thought carefully before answering. I don't. Really. I spent months angry. And now, I mostly feel sad. Olivia wiped away fresh tears. I don't deserve kindness. This isn't kindness. What is it? Peace. Another long silence filled the office. Olivia looked at me again. Is forgiveness possible? The question stayed between us. I wanted to answer immediately. Instead, I looked toward Daniel. Daniel calmly folded both hands. Forgiveness is powerful. I know, Daniel continued. But forgiveness doesn't always rebuild relationships. Olivia lowered Olivia's eyes. Daniel looked at me. Only Ethan can decide what forgiveness means. I slowly nodded. I don't want revenge anymore. That's good. I don't want Olivia to suffer forever. That's also good. But I can't pretend nothing happened. Daniel answered softly. Nobody should ask Ethan to pretend. I turned toward Olivia. I forgive Olivia. Hope appeared across Olivia's face. I continued before hope grew larger. I forgive Olivia because I don't want anger controlling my future. Hope slowly faded. But forgiveness doesn't mean another chance. Olivia closed Olivia's eyes. I understand. I don't think Olivia expected that answer. I hoped for something impossible. I already have peace. I can see that. I smiled slightly. Chloe helped me find that. Olivia looked toward the wedding ring inside the box. Chloe is a better person than Olivia ever was. I won't compare people. I will. Olivia took a deep breath. Chloe trusted Ethan enough to stay silent today. I remembered that moment. Chloe knew about the meeting. Chloe never called. Chloe never questioned me. Chloe never demanded explanations. That quiet trust touched my heart more deeply than dramatic promises ever could. I suddenly realized something important. Real love didn't need constant proof. Real love quietly believed. My phone vibrated. A message appeared from Chloe. Take all the time Ethan needs. I'll be waiting at home. Dinner will stay warm. I smiled without thinking. Olivia noticed. Chloe trusts Ethan completely. Yes. I threw away trust. Yes. I finally understand the difference. I carefully closed the wooden box. I'll keep these memories because they help shape my life. I understand. But those memories don't control my future anymore. They shouldn't. Olivia slowly stood. I should leave. I walked toward the office door. Before reaching the hallway, Olivia quietly stopped. There's one more thing. I looked back. What is it? Olivia struggled to speak. I never told Ethan the real reason Mason suddenly appeared at the wedding. My heartbeat slowed. What does that mean? Fresh tears rolled down Olivia's face. The invitation didn't come from Mason. I stared in complete confusion. Then who invited Mason? Olivia whispered one sentence that changed everything. The invitation came from somebody inside both families, and Ethan never suspected that person before the wedding. I stood frozen after hearing Olivia's final sentence. The invitation came from somebody inside both families. I looked directly at Olivia. Who? Olivia hesitated. I promised not to reveal the name. After everything that happened? I know how that sounds. It sounds impossible. I understand. I waited. Finally, Olivia continued. The invitation came from somebody who believed Mason deserved one last chance to speak before the wedding. I frowned. Did Olivia agree? I didn't stop it. Why? I still had unanswered feelings. Those words hurt, but the pain felt different now. The pain no longer controlled me. I finally understand, I said quietly. Olivia looked surprised. Understand what? I spent months believing one kiss destroyed everything. It did. No. Olivia looked confused. The kiss revealed everything that already existed. Fresh tears filled Olivia's eyes. I was emotionally confused. I believed that. I kept comparing my past with my future. I believed that too. I never wanted to destroy Ethan. I know. But confusion never excuses betrayal. No. I chose that kiss. Yes. I chose every mistake. Yes. I've stopped blaming Mason. I noticed. I only blame myself. I slowly nodded. For the first time, I believe every word. Silence settled between us. Olivia wiped away another tear. I don't expect another chance. There won't be one. I know. I hope Olivia finds peace someday. I don't deserve peace. Everyone deserves the chance to become better. Olivia smiled sadly. Chloe already helped Ethan become better. I helped myself too. I can see that. Olivia quietly walked toward the door. Before leaving, Olivia looked back one final time. Thank Ethan for loving Olivia honestly. I already did. Olivia nodded and left. The office suddenly felt peaceful again. That evening I returned home. The smell of dinner filled the house. Chloe smiled from the kitchen. Long day, the longest. Dinner first, dinner first. We sat together without rushing the conversation. Finally, Chloe asked, did everything end? I think so. What happened? I told Chloe everything. I explained the photographs, the letters, the wedding ring, the confession, the hidden invitation. When I finished, Chloe quietly reached across the table and held my hand. Are Ethan okay? I think today finally closed the past. I hoped it would. I realized something. What? I don't want revenge anymore. I know. I don't even want justice. Chloe smiled gently. What do Ethan want? Freedom. Freedom from what? From carrying old pain. Chloe squeezed my hand. I've been afraid too. I looked up. Afraid of what? Afraid that one day Ethan might miss Olivia. I don't. I wanted to believe that. I never married Chloe because Olivia failed. Chloe listened carefully. I married Chloe because honesty deserved another chance. Tears appeared in Chloe's eyes. I've never forgotten those words. I mean them even more today. I have another fear. Tell me, what if this marriage only exists because of one terrible wedding? I smiled. This marriage exists because every day after that wedding became another choice. I like that answer. It's the truth. Chloe laughed softly. I think we're finally becoming a real couple. I think so too. The following weekend, Grace visited again. Grace immediately noticed my expression. Something changed. It did. What happened? I forgave Olivia. Grace smiled proudly. And I walked away. Grace hugged me. I'm proud of Ethan. I thought forgiveness would feel weak. It never is. I don't feel angry anymore. I noticed. I actually feel lighter. Grace stepped back and looked at me. Ethan finally looked stronger instead of bitter. I finally believed that. Life continued moving forward. Weeks passed. New projects filled my schedule. Evenings became peaceful. My laughter became natural. The news about Mason began appearing everywhere. A business magazine exposed several dishonest contracts. Former partners spoke publicly. 2 former girlfriends shared stories about manipulation and broken promises. Sponsors ended agreements. Music companies canceled projects. Financial problems quickly followed. Grace called one evening. Have Ethan seen the news? No. Mason's career is collapsing. I stayed quiet. Does Ethan feel satisfied? I thought carefully. No. Really, I don't enjoy watching another life fall apart. Grace smiled through the phone. That's how I know Ethan healed. Another month passed. An old mutual friend unexpectedly called. I met Olivia today. How did Olivia seem? Different. In what way? Quiet. Anything else? Nobody stayed beside Olivia. I slowly looked out the window. For the first time, I realized karma never needed my help. Every choice had already created its own consequence. I never needed revenge. Life had handled everything naturally. That realization brought unexpected peace. Months continued passing. My marriage with Chloe grew stronger. Trust became effortless. Love slowly replaced survival. One rainy afternoon, my assistant walked in my office. Ethan, yes. This arrived by mail. A single white envelope rested in my hands. No return address appeared on the front. Only my name. I recognized the handwriting immediately. My heartbeat slowed. I quietly turned the envelope over. The familiar handwriting confirmed my suspicion. The final handwritten letter had come from Olivia. I stared at the envelope for several minutes before opening it. My hand stayed calm. My heart stayed calm too. That surprised me more than anything else. I unfolded the letter and slowly began reading. Ethan, this is the last time I'll ever interrupt your life. Asterisk, I'm not writing to ask for another chance. I'm not writing to defend myself. Every excuse already died with the choices I made. Asterisk, I betrayed the only person who truly loved me without conditions. Asterisk, for months I blamed Mason, my past, my confusion, and my fear. None of those things kissed Mason at our wedding. I did. Asterisk. Asterisk, you deserved loyalty. You gave honesty. I returned betrayal. Asterisk. I'm sorry. Not because I lost everything. I'm sorry because I finally understand what I destroyed. Asterisk, please don't answer this letter. Your silence will tell me everything I need to know. Asterisk. I hope Chloe gives you the happiness I couldn't. Goodbye. Olivia. I carefully folded the letter. I didn't cry. I didn't feel angry. I simply whispered, "Thank you for finally telling the truth." Then I placed the letter inside my desk drawer. I never planned to answer. Some stories deserved an ending instead of another conversation. That evening I returned home. Chloe smiled the moment I walked through the front door. Long day, a meaningful day. Did the letter bring peace? It did. Are Ethan going to reply? I gently shook my head. No. Why? Because forgiveness already happened. And some chapters should stay closed. Chloe walked closer and quietly hugged me. I'm proud of Ethan. I couldn't have reached this place alone. We reached it together. I smiled. I finally believe the past doesn't own my future. It never will again. A few weeks later, our first wedding anniversary arrived. Nobody could have imagined celebrating that day after the disaster that brought us together. Chloe placed a small gift on the breakfast table. Happy anniversary. You didn't have to buy anything. I wanted to. I opened the box. Inside rested a simple silver keychain. One side read hope. The other side read home. I love it. I thought those 2 words described us. They do. I reached across the table. Thank you for choosing honesty instead of perfection. Chloe laughed softly. I think honesty lasts longer. So do I. That evening, Grace and Daniel joined us for dinner. Grace raised a glass. 1 year. I smiled. The fastest year of my life. The strongest year, too, Grace replied. Daniel nodded. I've watched both of you grow. I've learned more than I expected. Daniel looked at me. Tell me one lesson. I thought for a moment. Love can't survive without trust. Daniel smiled. I agree. Daniel continued. Real love isn't built on perfect moments. I listened carefully. Real love is built through respect, honesty, and the decision to choose each other every day. I looked at Chloe. I believe every word. Grace smiled proudly. I remember the broken man standing outside the wedding hall. I remember that man too. I barely recognize that version anymore. I don't either. Grace quietly squeezed my shoulder. Heartbreak didn't define Ethan. No, heartbreak revealed Ethan's strength. Those words stayed with me long after dinner ended. Several months later, I heard one final piece of news. Olivia had left Seattle. A mutual friend called. I thought Ethan should know. What happened? Olivia accepted a job across the country. I hope everything goes well. I think Olivia wants a completely different life. I hope Olivia finds peace. I think that's finally possible. After the call ended, I quietly looked outside my office window. I felt no anger. I felt no regret. Only gratitude. That evening, Chloe suggested a walk. Come watch the sunset. I'd love that. We walked to the same hill overlooking Seattle. The sky slowly turned orange, pink, and gold. A cool breeze surrounded us. Chloe slipped a hand into mine. What are Ethan thinking about? I'm thinking life gave me two completely different weddings. Chloe smiled. One ended. One truly began. I'm glad Ethan never stopped believing in love. I almost did, but Ethan didn't. No. I looked at the setting sun. For a long time, I believed victory meant revenge. I believed justice meant watching somebody else lose. Now I understood the truth. The greatest victory was never revenge. The greatest victory was choosing self-respect over betrayal. I looked at Chloe and smiled. I finally found home. Chloe smiled back. I've been home since the day Ethan chose honesty. As the last sunlight disappeared beyond the horizon, I silently thanked the painful past for teaching me the value of genuine love. Olivia gave me the worst day of my life. Chloe gave me the life that never seemed possible. Losing one wedding became the beginning of finding a forever home.